So Shannon, Saturday afternoon,
Yes, ma'am.
we're sitting here. I can't believe we just said yes, ma'am. Makes me feel a little old.
Right.
We're sitting here having a glass of wine and just chit chatting. And quite honestly, we were messing with recording and just thought, why not allow this to be our first episode of our podcast? Let's talk about how we met, Shannon.
How did we meet, Laura? There's lots of versions of this story.
Well, I mean, what is funny about this story is the fact that you and I lived in the same building.
Close proximity.
Yeah. So,
For
like,
how
for
many years?
3 years, 3-4 years, never met.
Nope. Saw in
Um,
your car.
Yeah, I saw you in your Prius too.
Hey,
No offense
no,
to Prius, but they're
not
just
everybody can be hot in a
not
Prius.
my thing. But I do remember the little white Prius.
Yes, man, put the miles on that one.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously we lived in the same building, never knew each other, and went through some of the same things
At the exact same time.
at the exact same time. Some challenges and growth with our children, if you will. The death of our fathers that actually happened around the same time. Right?
Yeah.
Had we known each other during COVID,
COVID would have been so much more fun.
although I do wonder how much trouble we would have raised.
Come up this flight of stairs and
Exactly.
try to get rid of me after that.
Maybe. So then we moved into another
Across the street.
Yeah, across the street.
Very long drive.
New complex. Right around probably the same time. I think I was here maybe 6 months before you
think
or something
so,
like that.
yeah.
And then I had thought I would try to create a community, which one day we'll talk about communities and how sometimes you have to be really cautious about protecting your energy.
Good intention.
Right?
Right.
Good intentions that just go sour. And so funny thing is you and I connected in the group via Facebook Messenger,
Yes.
right? That was how we met. It was
Mhm.
almost like online dating.
You
kind
were
of.
moderating, and I was
Yeah.
reading your moderation. I was just messaging you on the backside. Like, girl, how are you? This is ridiculous. How are you even dealing with this on a daily basis? Why?
Yeah. And then so we talked about getting together, and of course life got in the
Right.
way.
We did run into each other for 2 seconds in the mailroom one time.
That is true.
And
That
I
is
was like,
true.
I think that's Laura.
Yeah, that is true. Wow, you think about that was, gosh, 4 years ago and how much we've changed over the last 4
Right.
years. And so then we had met a mutual acquaintance.
Yes, ma'am.
And it turned out that I guess you were hanging down at the pool with her.
Mhm.
I think I recall that. And so I came down to hang out, and that was when you and I met face to face.
Officially. Yes.
And I think the funny thing is that from day one, like we just hit it off. My gosh, if we would have been dating, we probably would
We'd
have
be married.
we would have been married within 2 weeks, right? It would have been like, let's just go.
No prenup.
Let's go alone. And we've really been connected at the hip, if you will,
Mhm.
since that time. We've traveled together, raising our grown kids together,
Our careers.
sharing our dating experiences together. And
That's what you want to call it.
yeah, yeah.
I know. It's just sometimes I sit here and think about my life like before you. And I have a dear best friend, and I love her. I love her very much, but different friends for different stages in life. And just the way you and I have grown into each other in more ways than just friendship, I think it's very unique and hard to find.
Well,
My
and
good-
the
my
funny thing
goodness.
is we ran our astrology charts, right? And then we actually found out that we have some of the same characteristics.
Very much. But yet we're also very much fire and ice.
For
A
sure.
little bit against
For
the
sure.
drums.
Yeah, you're the
They're-
kind one and I'm the mean one.
I'm not going to argue with that.
If you need the truth, you know who to call. If you want the truth,
If
you
you want
know
the
who to
soft
call.
truth, you know who to call.
It's like hard ice cream versus soft serve, right?
Pick your poison.
Dark chocolate versus milk chocolate.
Little mocha chocolate.
So here we are, and it's been at least 4 years,
Right.
At least 4 years. And I think we sat down one day and said, wow, why are we not sharing this experience with others and encouraging women to step outside of themselves, outside of their shells, and really expand on life? And that was really one of the ideas where we sat down and said, I don't know, I'd had this idea and I ran it across you on the second Fiverr.
Mhm.
And to share a little bit of my personal story, and then I'd love for you to play into that. I sat down and said, when I turned 50, I looked in the mirror and I said, this can't be it. This,
Right.
when you're in your downward trajectory, this can't be it. And I started to just evaluate life and look at it a little bit differently. And I know when I told you about the second fire, I think you had felt something as well. Do you want to share that?
Well, I think, similar to what you said, we hit 50, and I was a few years behind you. But you just go through life, and as you're going through what we went through, basically just surviving, you don't realize that what you're sitting in doesn't need to be what your experience in life has to be. And just being honest with yourself is like, this is where I really want to be. And you and I had struggled with weight.
Yeah.
The way we felt, the conversations we were having with ourselves in the mirror. I know that was not good for me. And then it becomes this huge jump out of this big hole you don't want to get started. Don't want to start chipping away. And I feel like that's where you push me in our friendship is we got to start somewhere. Wow.
Just ignore that. Cat's knocking things off
Cats
the
are
shelf.
wrecking your crap.
Yeah.
No, I just appreciate that part about our friendship is like you have always pushed me out of my comfort zone because I'm very much like to sit in my little safe spot here.
Yeah.
And then once we started doing that and we started changing, not only physically, but I feel like that's where our mentality started to change too.
It like kept coming out of your shell, right?
Absolutely.
And I remember it was April 1st, 2023. You and I started down a journey of our health, of getting our hormones checked, exercising, both had Pelotons at the time.
Right.
And that became a real connection for us, if you will. And the weight loss, like I always used to ask myself, having gone through, perimenopause and gaining weight and all of that, I used to write down in my journal, who would I be without this weight?
What would I
And
be doing differently?
what would I be doing
How would I be living my life differently?
And I think that April 1 of 2023 was a turning the page event for us. We really started to look at each other and say, we don't feel good. We
Right.
don't feel good in our bodies. We don't. And no, we were having a good time.
Of course.
But we certainly, I think, were much more.
We weren't at our true potential.
yeah.
We knew that.
Yeah. And less than willing to put ourselves out there. And I think that having been through the evolution that we've gone through over the last couple of years, losing the weight, finding the energy,
Feeling better.
yeah. And I think it also helped us find ourselves and our voices, right?
Yes.
Because when you don't feel good, it's very easy to just step back and be like, what is the meaning of life? This is it. This is the downward trajectory.
I've raised my kids.
Yeah.
They're out of the house.
Yeah.
Guess what I'm going to do? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Except sit here and be chubby.
Yeah. Or you put the clothes on and you don't feel good in it.
I don't want
and
to go
it's like,
out.
right,
I'm just like,
right.
I don't want to meet
Right.
anybody and I'm not.
Yeah.
It's just a spiral.
And so we found that turning point. It doesn't always have to be about weight. It could
Of
be
course
about
not.
a
Whatever
divorce.
triggers. It could be anything that is
Absolutely.
important to you.
Absolutely. It
Or
could be a divorce. It could be a change in career. It could be the loss of a job.
loss of a parent,
Any of that, any of those elements that I think wake you up and say, is this really what you want? Is this really what you want to do? And I think that's really where the second fire came in, because I started to feel alive again. I started to want to get out of bed. You and I started being more active and going out. And I also think we stopped putting up with shit.
You are much better at that than I am. We'll get into that much later.
Yeah.
But no, I think it just goes with as we started feeling better, we started thinking better about ourselves.
Also, I think the other piece of that is, setting up your boundaries because you feel empowered to do. What were you going to say?
I don't remember. That happens a lot.
That you don't remember, or that I cut you off?
Both. Cheers to menopause.
Well, I'm excited for this. I'm excited for the journey. And it's like what I've said before. We didn't start Second Fire because we figured it out. We started Second Fire because we knew it was needed and we're still figuring it out.
Yes, it's definitely a journey that we are still on and will continue to be on.
For the rest of our lives.
Probably. Stuck with me. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry.
Same, but different.
And there you go. That's our first Get to Know Us podcast.
Yeah.
Join us in upcoming versions where we're a little more structured. Quite honestly, we met up tonight to show Shannon how to use the microphone and thought, why the hell not?
Let's do it, sis.
So here we are. Burn responsibly.
Burn responsibly.